Welcome back. Today we're going to take and learn to find the slope from two coordinates, which is essentially the same thing we did yesterday. But this time they're going to be focusing on a different formula, which is essentially the same formula we did yesterday. So the formula they want us to do today is called the change in y divided by the change in x. And what that means is what we wrote yesterday, y2 minus y1 divided by x sub 2 minus x sub 1. And that's really the proper way of doing it. So looking at the example problem they did, they had, we're going to call this x1 and y1, and we'll call this x2 and y2. It's kind of hard to see how little they wrote it there. So when they plug those in, that would mean I'd have y2 and y1, I'd have x2 and x1. So y2 was 3, y1 is negative 2. Now this is important. You have minus a negative 2, which actually means plus 2 right there. And then my x2 was 15 and my x1 was 5. So 5 plus 2, 3 plus 2 gave them 5, and then 15 minus 5, that gave them 10, and then of course that simplifies to be 1/2 for the slope right there. Now we're going to take and do a couple of these together, and I'm going to take and label what I have. So this is going to be my x1 and my y1. This is going to be my x2 and my y2. I would really prefer if you were to use that formula, though, that we have up here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So when I do that, I'm going to even write it in here. We're going to call these y2, y1, x2, and x1. So that means my y2 is 19, my y1 is going to be a negative 7, my x2 is 1, my x1 is a negative 2. So we have 19 minus 7, that's the same thing as a negative times a negative, so plus, so that's 19 plus 7, which is going to equal to 26. And here I have 1 minus a negative 2. Well, minus a negative, that's the same thing as plus. That gives me 19 plus 2, which is going to equal to 3. And that is actually in simplest form. Now, here's a cool thing. We don't convert slope to a mixed number. If it came to you as an improper fraction, we're going to leave that sucker as an improper fraction. Let's do the next one together as well. So we're going to have x1 and y1, we're going to have x2 and y2, and we're going to go ahead and write our forms in there, y2, y1, x2, and x1. So my y2 was 8, my y1 is a negative 2, my x2 was 5, my x1 is, oh, we got a problem. Do you see it yet? I see it. So right here, 8 minus a negative 2, that's the same thing as saying 8 plus 2, and 8 plus 2 is 10. Here's the problem. 5 minus 5 is 0. Can we have 0 in a denominator? No, we cannot. So the answer to this one is undefined, because anytime you have 0 in the denominator, boop, you stop what you're doing and you write undefined, because that's going to be the answer to that problem. Now, you pause the video and you work on the next two on your own. All right, so here's going to be your answer key for parts 3 and 4. Go ahead and pause your video and check on those and make sure you were able to work them correctly. Now it's time for the 3 plus me. You've got a series of problems that you're going to be working out in class, and each one of these problems have 4 different sets of ordered pairs to it. And what we're going to do in class, if you're here, we're going to take and assign you to groups of 4, and each person in that group is going to work one problem. And then you're going to compare your answers, because you should, if you do them right, all 4 people in that group should have the same answer for the different number sets that they're working with. If you're not at home, not at school, then I want you to take and do just 2 from each set, so you can make sure you're checking your work as you go. And if you get the same answer on 2 from each set, then I'm going to say that you have done it correctly. When we're done with that, it's going to be time to dive into your exit ticket. This is your actual homework assignment, the thing that I'm taking for a grade. I want you to write your formula first. Slope is equal to y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. And after you write your formula, then you can take and actually solve the problem. You have two different problems here to actually work, though. Don't get confused and think this is all one problem. You've got to find the slope of this one, and then this one, they give you the points. You're going to have to find the ordered pairs of those points, or you could also use rise over run to find out what the value of the slope of this one is, and then you're going to compare to find out which slope is steeper. That's all we're doing in class today. I hope the homework's not too hard for you, and I look forward to answering any questions you have in class tomorrow.